Morbius is easily the greatest movie ever made. The best part was when he said, "It's Morbin time," and morbed all over those guys. Absolute cinematic genius. I mean, it's no surprise Morbius became the highest grossing movie of all time, right? People just love a good morbing. This is the peak of storytelling. Honestly, I don't even know if you should watch Morbius because, let's face it, once you do, everything else will feel like trash in comparison. It'll ruin movies for you. Lord of the Rings? Trash. Star Wars? Trash. Even Shrek. Sorry, Shrek. You can't morb. Proceed with caution. Morbius will set the bar so high that everything else will just feel like a waste of time. Morbius obviously wipes the floor with Sword Art Online without even trying. It's the definition of lazy writing. Meanwhile, Morbius delivers a vampire anti-hero with actual depth, epic action, and unforgettable moments. Its Morbin time alone has more impact than the entire SAO series combined. Here's why Morbius is way better.
A doctor tries to cure himself of a rare blood disorder, but he accidentally transforms into a vampire. In this video, I'll break down and explain the Morbius movie. The movie begins in Costa Rica. Dr. Michael Morbius is flown by helicopter to a cave. Michael cuts his hand open, and he uses his blood as bait to lure out several bats inside the cave. The bats overwhelm Michael, and then there's a flashback to 25 years earlier in Greece. A young Michael lives in the hospital. Another boy named Lucien arrives at the hospital as well. Michael renames Lucien Milo. They both have the same blood disorder and wish to be normal. Milo's machine malfunctions, and Michael uses a spring from a ballpoint pen to fix it. The hospital director Emil sends Michael to a school for gifted children in New York. Milo stays with Emil. In the present day, Michael talks to his colleague Martine Bancroft. Michael brought several bats home from Costa Rica. He wants to splice the bat's genes with his own to cure his blood disorder. Martine doesn't think that it's possible. Michael experiments on a lab rat, but it doesn't work, and the test subject dies. Later, Martine sees that the lab rat is actually still alive, which means that the experiment worked. Michael goes to visit Milo and Emil. Milo is now rich, and he's the one who's funding Michael's experiments. Michael shares the good news with Milo, and informs him that he's close to finding a cure. Michael and Martine perform the experiments on a private mercenary vessel in the middle of the ocean. The procedure is a success, and Martine injects Michael with the cure. Michael gets transformed into a vampire. The mercenaries on the ship shoot at Michael, and he brutally kills all of them. Michael drains their blood, and he regains his senses. Michael tries to talk to Martine, but she's unconscious. Michael hacks into the ship's security system, and he erases all the CCTV footage. Michael calls for help, and he notifies the authorities of his location before jumping overboard. The FBI comes to investigate the ship. Agents Simon Stroud and Al Rodriguez are assigned to the case. They see that all the dead bodies have been drained of blood. Michael returns to his laboratory, and he tests out his new superpowers in private. Michael has to drink blood to survive, but he drinks the synthetic blood that he created instead of actual human blood. He discovers that he has superhuman strength and speed. Michael gets closer to the bats, and they don't bite him. Michael has even developed a form of echolocation. Michael locks himself in a room. His illness returns, and he understands that he has to eventually drink human blood, or die. Milo comes to visit Michael. He gives him blood and sees that Michael has been cured. Milo desperately wants the cure. Michael refuses to give Milo the cure, since he can't control what he's become. Milo begs Michael for the cure again, but he forces him to get out. Simon and Al talk to Martine in the hospital. They question her about what happened on the ship, and show her pictures of the dead bodies. But Martine can't remember anything. Simon leaves his business card, and he exits the room with Al. A nurse at the hospital is killed by someone off screen. Michael goes to the hospital, and he sees the dead nurse. Her blood has also been drained from her body. Michael assumes that he was the one who killed the nurse. Michael takes several packs of his synthetic blood, and he tries to leave the hospital. Simon and Al stop Michael. They question Michael and try to arrest him. Michael attempts to escape, and he jumps to the roof of the building. However, Simon corners Michael on the roof. Michael is sent to prison. He'll only last a few hours without drinking blood. Michael gets interrogated by Simon and Al. They know that Michael was the one who killed those mercenaries on the ship. Michael feels guilty for killing the nurse, since she was a single mother with twin girls, but he can't answer why he did it. Michael demands that he needs blood, but his bag is in evidence. Milo pretends to be Michael's lawyer, and he visits him in prison. Michael is being charged with murder, but Milo doesn't believe it. Milo can help Michael get out of prison, but he thinks that it's much safer for him to be here, so nobody else dies. Milo gives a blood bag to Michael, and he leaves the room. Milo left his cane behind in the room, and Michael realizes that he took the cure. It was actually Milo who killed the nurse. Michael drinks the blood, and he breaks out of prison. Michael locates Milo, and he confronts him. Milo confesses confesses that he killed the nurse. Michael tries to get Milo to stop. Milo advises Michael that they should embrace their powers. Milo flees into the underground subway, and Michael pursues him. Michael plans to find a way to reverse the vampirism process. Police come to arrest Milo and Michael. Milo kills all the police officers, and Michael walks away. Milo attacks Michael, but he doesn't want to fight him. Michael flies in front of the subway train, and he escapes. Simon and Al come to the crime scene. They think that Michael was responsible for the deaths. Milo is secretly watching Martine from across the street. Martine reads the newspaper, and she sees that Michael is wanted for murder. Michael meets Martine on a bus, and he insists that he didn't kill those police officers. Michael warns Martine that Milo took the cure, and he needs her help to stop him. Michael and Martine go to a restaurant to talk. Michael doesn't get hurt by sunlight since he's not that kind of vampire. Michael explains that he has to drink artificial blood every 4 hours and 22 minutes now. When it stops working, Michael will become like Milo. Michael sees how people are trying to pay with counterfeit money. He follows them to an underground lab. Michael demands everyone to leave since he wants the lab. A guy asks who Michael is, and he replies that he's Venom. Michael repurposes the equipment in the lab. Meanwhile, Milo dances in his room. He goes to a nightclub and talks to a girl. Another guy at the nightclub attacks Milo, and he leaves. Milo waits outside the nightclub. He kills the guy and his 2 friends. Martine breaks into Michael's old lab. Milo is waiting for her there. Milo wants to know where Michael is, but Martine says that she isn't sure. Milo listens to Martine's heartbeat, and he knows that she's lying. Martine takes several supplies from the lab and she leaves. Police break into Martine's apartment, but she's not there. Martine goes to meet Michael. They kiss on the roof while Milo watches them from afar. Simon and Al go to the nightclub that Milo was at, and they look at the CCTV footage. They see Milo killing the people and realize that there are more vampires. Emil watches the news and he sees what happened. Emil visits Milo and he disapproves of what he's done. Milo is angry at Emil and thinks that he prefers Michael over him. Milo injures Emil. Meanwhile, Michael develops an antibody to kill Milo. It's deadly to bats and fatal to humans. Michael plans to inject himself with the antibody as well after killing Milo. Michael receives Emil's call and he goes to visit him. With his dying breath, Emil tells Michael to stop Milo. Milo captures Martine to lure Michael. Milo then slashes Martine's throat. Michael finds Martine on the roof of a building, but it's too late and she dies in his arms. Michael drinks Martine's blood and he goes after Milo. Michael fights Milo and he summons a huge cauldron of bats to restrain him. Michael injects Milo with the antibody, which kills him. The police arrive, but Michael flies away with the bats. Finally, the movie ends with Martine opening her eyes. She ingested some of Michael's blood earlier, and she's also a vampire now. In the mid-credits scene, we see the multiverse tearing open like in the Spider-Man No Way Home movie. Adrian Toomes gets transported from the Marvel Cinematic Universe to the same universe as Michael. Adrian doesn't know what's going on, but he immediately gets released from prison since he didn't break any laws in this universe. Adrian somehow obtains another Vulture suit, and he flies to meet Michael. Adrian says that he thinks Spider-Man is responsible for him being in this universe. He asks Michael to team up with him to do some good. Michael responds that it's intriguing, and that's the Morbius movie explained. Morbius received mostly negative reviews. The movie has made about $162 million at the box office. Jared Leto, the actor who plays Michael Morbius, stated that he would like to appear alongside Mahershala Ali's Blade and Tom Hardy's Venom in future movies. However, there is currently no Morbius sequel in active development, so the character's future is unknown. Some upcoming movies in Sony's Spider-Man universe include Kraven the Hunter, Madame Web, El Muerto, and Venom 3. Which movie or anime should I explain next? Leave a suggestion. Check out some of the other videos on this channel. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a future upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
As you can see, Morbius is way better than Sword Art Online in every possible way. Morbius gives us action, emotion, and a character that actually has to deal with real problems, like being a vampire. Meanwhile, SAO is just Kirito flexing his overpowered skills in a fake world, acting like he's the coolest guy around while everyone just watches. There's no real struggle, no real stakes, it's all just a bad video game plot. Morbius, he's out here facing real danger, real enemies, and actually has to work for his wins. SAO is like watching someone cheat at a game, while Morbius gives you a movie that actually makes you care. Morbius is the real deal, and SAO just feels like a bad joke.
If you're unsure about the ending of Men in Black International, then you definitely came to the right place. Here's the ending explained. In a not so surprising twist, we find out that Hai-T is actually the mole. Back in Paris of 2016, Agent H and Hai-T were on a mission to destroy the Hive. However, they were unsuccessful and the Hive somehow got control of Hai-T's body. Hai-T also neuralized Agent H to make him forget what really happened. Agent H was left alive so that he could sell the lie that they were successful in defeating the Hive. Now it makes sense why Hai-T was always looking out and covering for Agent H. Furthermore, Hai-T lied about the shape-shifting twins being the Hive. He was also tracking Agent H&M, so that's how he found out where they were. Hai-T also steals the weapon and flees to Paris. Now that the Hive are in possession of the most powerful weapon in the galaxy, they plan to destroy every planet including Earth. During the final fight, Agent M is thrown into the wormhole, but luckily Pawnee was there to save her. Agent H was also able to persuade what was left of the real Hai-T to give him the weapon. Agent H gives the weapon to Agent M, and she uses it to destroy Hai-T in the Hive wormhole, thus saving the Earth and all the other planets from destruction. Afterwards, Agent O arrives at the scene. Agent M is done with her probationary period and is given a neuralizer of her own. Furthermore, now that Hai-T is gone, Agent H gets promoted to the head of the MIB London branch. Agent M has to report back to New York, but she decides to take care of a few things first. She takes Agent H's car and they both go on a road trip back to London. The movie definitely leaves room for a sequel, but it's been getting lots of negative reviews, so unless it's able to make a ton of money, a sequel isn't very likely. Well, that's it for this video. What did you think of Men in Black International? Let me know your opinion in the comments below. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.